Welcome to tonight's edition of Generals on Deck. I'm Chris Harris and joined by Generals pitching coach Terry Clark. And you have to be pretty pleased with the way this team's pitched so far this year.
Yeah, very pleased. They've done a great job. Starters, relievers, everybody's – they work as hard as any pitching staff I've had as a coach, and extremely happy with the way they've been pitching.
It's been a frustrating start to the year in the fact we've lost so many close ball games. I think the relievers were a little bit frustrated early on, especially the back-end guys, because they were losing those close ball games. But it seems like those guys have kind of regrouped, and they've had a great month of May.
Yeah, we've probably had one of the worst streaks I've ever seen with one-run games. I think we won 5 out of 17 or something. But, those games happen. You learn. It's a learning curve, and I think they're starting to get the hang of it now. And now they want to be in those situations, and it seems to be working out.
Let's talk about tonight's starting pitcher, Ronis Elias. What a great story he has coming from Cuba. Tell me, as a pitching coach, dealing with someone like that, and even a lot of the guys, a guy from Venezuela or a guy from the Dominican Republic, when you have to deal with the language barrier, culture barrier, you've been a pitching coach for a while. How do you deal with that sometimes?
The language barrier, I pick up words here and there, and I can get the point across for pitching mechanics and where to eat and stuff like that. But I played in Venezuela 2 years. I played in Dominican 1 year, 1 year in Mexico, all in winter ball. So I've been around them enough to know their culture, know how they act. So I kind of know how to, treat them the right way to where they don't get pissed off and get insulted or whatever. So it's really good. But with, Elias, I don't have to worry about him. He works so hard. I have to basically slow him down sometimes because he just wants to do so much.
This entire pitching staff in the rotation ranks second in the Southern League right now in earned run average, led by Taijuan Walker, of course. Talk about him and what you've seen, because you hadn't seen him really that much in the past. So what have you learned about Taijuan Walker so far this year?
Heard a lot about him when I came to spring training for the first time. He is an outstanding athlete, along with being a very, very good pitcher. He's got an extremely bright future ahead of him. He works extremely hard to perfect his craft. And from a guy being his age at 20 years old to have that much knowledge of what he wants to do, and when you tell him something, he very easily puts it into play. It's really fun to watch him grow.
It's nice to have a mix of young guys plus some veterans, a guy like Chance Ruffin who's had some big league experience. We had Hector Noesi at the beginning of the year, so it's nice, I guess, to have those leaders and guys that have been there and done that at higher levels in your staff as well.
Yeah, definitely. You always have to have those guys because I kind of, let them do the job. They'll keep them in order. They'll, control the clubhouse. I don't have to worry about guys being late. They're going to be here on time, because if they look up every day and Chance Ruffin's out here at 2 o'clock when he's supposed to be here at 3, then they're thinking, Jesus, if he's here, I should be here too. So it kind of rubs off on the young guys. And the pitching coordinator told me the other day, he goes, it's phenomenal to watch the guys come out and work. I said, they do it. It's not me on them every day being a drill sergeant. They come out here, they want to get to the next level. They want to keep improving, so they're out here early every single day.
Played 20 seasons of professional baseball, did Terry Clark, 6 seasons in Major League Baseball. You were drafted originally by the St. Louis Cardinals. What's some of the highlights of your professional career that you'll remember for the rest of your life?
Well, I give these guys stories. I said, no matter what you do in the minor leagues, I've already done it, because I spent parts of 14 years there. So, but staying with it, I guess, persevering through it. I spent 9 years in the minor leagues before I finally got to the big leagues, barring some injuries, and then finally got up there. And probably the biggest highlight was throwing a shutout against the Yankees in Anaheim Stadium in front of 50,000 people. It was a lot of fun.
Now, I asked Stephen Colsheen, Tyler Bergune, Carson Smith, what's some of the biggest jokes we've had in the bullpen, and they say that the biggest jokes usually come from you. So tell me, you must keep the bullpen and the pitching staff pretty loose out there with some jokes.
Every once in a while, I'll go down. Like last night, I went down. They said, "Give us a joke before you go back down." I'll run down, get a cup of coffee, and then I'll throw a joke at them. But the bullpen is the bullpen. If you never spend any time in the bullpen is. You can't get all caught up in the game to where you're just following it pitch by pitch. It'll drive you crazy. So you got to learn to relax. You got to learn to tell some jokes. They end up becoming very good friends. I have lifelong friends that were in the bullpens with me, whether it was in the big leagues or in the minor leagues, that I still talk to now, because it just becomes such a close-knit group. So getting them to understand, hey, it's okay to have fun down here, and then when your time rolls around in the game, it's getting close. Okay, now it's time to get a little bit serious and, get your mind right.
Terry Clark, pitching coach for the Jackson Generals. Hey, thanks for taking some time.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Tonight, Game 3, the middle game of this 5-game series against the Huntsville Stars. This has been Generals on Deck. I'm Chris Harris.